Hi all, this is Skate, and we are looking at the AMX 1390 today. And for sheer entertainment, this is up there. It's just so much fun. If you ask me to describe the gameplay, I'd probably say it reminds me of a 5-year-old on a sugar rush. To play this thing, I run around like a headless lunatic on the map. But it's logical headless lunatic running around, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Example here. I'm going past A and I want to spot very, very aggressively. And I love doing this in this tank. No one expects you to appear where I'm going to appear so early on in the match. These guys are probably going, what the hell, how did that guy get by there so damn quickly? And yes, this thing has something like, well, it's not something like, it is. It's 2.5 seconds between each shell, which is annoying now. And the gun elevation is just flat out bad. And the gun depression is bad. But it's the entertainment value this thing gives that just makes it brilliant. And at the end of the day, we're playing a game, and we like to improve our stats, but we want to have fun in the process. And this is up there as one of those tanks, which you can just have sheer fun and entertainment. Basically trolling the Reds. I mean, this guy's obviously going to have, for the rest of the matches you're about to watch, because it's going to be me versus these two for the remainder of the match. But I think he's got ping issues, which is why he's so slow in responding. But I'm just leading the Centurion round and round on a wild goose chase, while unloading as many shots as I can into this guy, and then I'm going to run away from the Centurion again. Now the guy does have lag issues, you can see by the fact I've just managed to get straight under his gun without him firing. But the Centurion, he's relentless, he's not going to give up on killing me. But it gives my team an advantage then. They're in a 6-on-5 situation now. And I'm keeping a tier 9 tank occupied, and I'm also in the process keeping a very, very nasty tier 8 tank destroyer preoccupied as well. And this Centurion has got to be getting annoyed with me. Look, I'm waiting for him to come near, and as soon as he starts to come near, I'm off again. How annoying must that be? And you can see that Jagdtiger's still slowly trying to get his gun round to me. It's just, well, he's caught on the building a little bit. And we're going to address him now, if I can just get one more shot past the scent. And I screwed a shot up on the scent, but who cares? So far it's gone well, so hopefully it continues. And if you look at the top of the screen, it's now a 2-on-6 on the opposite side of the map, because my team have wiped out the rest of their team. It's now just this Centurion left, and now I'm reloaded. There's no need for me to run away. I can just stand around and unload a clip into him, because my health versus his, I know if I get off a reload, get around the building again, I'm going to be able to do the same thing quite confidently and quite comfortably. And even if he gets another couple of shots into me, not really a big deal, is it? Because I have that health advantage now. And that's what it's all about in these sort of engagements. Can you afford to trade off one of their shots for 3 of yours? Because if you can, and you can do that and then get back into cover, it's worth it every single time. But that's just a quick funny game, but we did get a first class for it and 2,980 damage, which also puts us top of the board. But that game made me laugh, so I thought I would share it in this. And the next game made me laugh just as much, because, well, what I was saying about a 5-year-old on a sugar rush, the next game is exactly that. I like to spot in this very, very aggressively, and then run away, load up a clip, run in close, unload the clip, and then run away again. And the best people to get your clip off onto are not the people who are not engaged. What you want to do is pick a target which is pre-engaged with somebody else, because there's a small chance they're not going to turn their gun on you. And here's the best part. There's a big chance they're going to turn your gun on you. For example here, I'm one-on-one versus a Persian. It's not an ideal situation. I can get behind a rock and get into cover, so it's okay. But ideally, in reality, one-on-ones is not what you want to do in this tank unless you can guarantee you can get away. And I do mean guarantee you can get away, so you can hide until you're reloaded. My favourite thing to do is pick targets which are preoccupied with someone else on my team. So running around the flank, magically appearing behind them, unloading and running away. Because when someone sees one of these AMXs, they'll focus you. I mean, look, we got the butts of all these guys we're coming up against now. Who do you think they're going to turn their attention to? Me, one little AMX behind, or all of the others on my team in front? I think everyone's pretty much guessed what it is already, because they don't care about anyone else. They just want me. Look, which means all the players on my team can just unload. So it's not just about the damage, it's about a distraction. Because that's exactly what this thing is. I mean, look, we've just done a circle, and we're coming back to do exactly the same circle again. And there's a tier 9 heavy tank, a nasty tier 9 heavy tank, which we've just kept completely occupied. And we're putting another one into the Borsig, and again, the Borsig's turned his gun to us as well, just because we've put one shot into him, and one into an E75. But how much fun is this? And it isn't all about the damage here. It's about distracting people, annoying people. And that's really, really good gameplay. And it's fun gameplay because it's tactical at the same time as being stupid. And that is the exact reason why I enjoy the AMX lines so much. Because you have that clip to come in, distract several tanks, so the rest of your friendlies can comfortably and happily unwind and relax and just pop shots off while they're distracted. Here it is again. There's greens pointing at this tank. Who do you think he wants? Yeah, me. So this sort of gameplay does put you in danger, but the potential to give you a chance, or yourself that chance of a win, really does go up. I mean, we're doing nothing but annoying the C-75 right now, but look how occupied he is. And again, my friendlies can run in, do damage to this guy without him even pointing his gun at you. And this happens so often. If you run in close to something, shoot them, they'll turn their turret to you, which means the rest of your team is free to do damage. So it's not just about damage, which is what I like. Especially, it's about light tanks in general. They're all like this, but these, I think, are perfect for it because they can just pump out so much damage and then bugger off. But it's the spotting early that lets your team know where they need to go. It's that ludicrous gameplay of running in, going a bit crazy on a bunch of tanks, and then running away. Also, a bunch of fun. In this circumstance here, we obviously can't do that because, well, there's nothing else for these tanks to shoot at the moment. So we are numero uno target for these guys, which is why we can't just run in like a headless chicken. I also have no doubts in saying that Borsig on the enemy team is waiting at the back of the map in that tank destroyer spawn for a little light tank to poke his nose over, like my little light tank here, and to unload onto my tank with HE, which I just don't want. You just don't want to be hit with that big nasty alpha. So you wait until other people are distracted, and then you run in while they're distracted and unload your clip without them even looking at you. I mean, again, RU-251, he's distracted with someone else, we can unload our clip onto them and finish them off. If he was distracted by me and turned his gun round, one of the other greens could have poked their head over safely and shot back. Now once we started to clear some of these out and there's more friendlies for my team to be, or for the Reds to be distracted by, that's when we can run in and start to do some more close range annoyances to people. The other thing actually, by the way, is you can run in and clip someone off if you know you've got the potential to clip them off in one clip. You're not in danger then when you're on the reload. Now this gameplay does sound a bit ludicrous, but I promise you it works, and it works really well. Because if you are in such a squishy target, everybody does say it. They get focused. And it's really annoying because when you get focused, everyone points their big guns at you. But you can turn that to an advantage. You can turn it to an advantage, the fact of, well, we know they're probably going to focus you, so why not appear somewhere next to them, randomly in surprise? Or even if it's not in surprise, do it at full speed. From that perspective, when they do turn their guns, like you're expecting them to because you're light and squishy and everybody wants to point their big guns at the light squishy tank. By doing that, you've just turned that disadvantage into a big advantage. It's like I'm trying to do exactly the same thing here. I'm trying to work my way all the way around the flank and basically be a distraction. I'm going to try and cap the base first, obviously. But once I've done that, I'll be on the flanks. Let's just hope the team can hold out until we are done and on the flank. Because the risky part of this sort of gameplay is your team might just get wiped out. And then you are stuck in a situation where you are alone versus several tanks sometimes. And this is what I hear is one of the biggest complaints about this tank, is it doesn't have the damage potential to carry hard. Well, in my book, it's not just about the damage. It's genuinely not. Like I said, it was that aggressive spotting. That makes all the difference. It lets your team know where the enemy are. It lets them know where to go. Granted, they won't always follow, but you're still giving a higher chance and probability of them actually doing something to react to that. And then on top of that, when you're a distraction and, frankly and bluntly put, a proper little pain in the butt, by just being there and being an annoyance, it again gives the advantage of they're comfortable to pop out because there isn't a big gun pointing at them. And as long as they know there isn't a big gun pointing at them, people will stick their noses out of the corner to happily shoot at something. Quite simply, they feel more comfortable and safer knowing that they can put a shell into something because the gun of the big nasty red tank isn't looking at them. And this gameplay, I can't express how much fun it is and how enjoyable it is, but it does work, and it works exceedingly well. Here's another thing I want to point out. You'll notice I did this with the E75 as well. You don't always have to circle slow, tall tanks. You can just drive back and forth quite sharpish while hugging the side of their tank. It ridiculously reduces the chance of them getting you. The taller the tank, the easier it is to do. German heavy tanks, it's perfect for doing it too. Because you're just going back and forth constantly, non-stop. And they're just wiggling their turret constantly, trying to just catch the top of your turret. And sometimes they'll clip you, yeah. Most of the time, they miss. And the other thing, regardless if I'm top tier or I'm bottom tier, I will play this thing exactly the same. I will not be the focal point. I will not drive head first and try and run it with the heavies. So, for example, when that guy's saying together, no, I'm a light tank. I am not going together with the heavies. That's crazy. What I will do is set up in a bush where I know I will spot for my team and be of better use. Running as a pack with the heavies and everything else, it doesn't work. Where I am here, spotting early for those heavies and then flanking around to be a distraction for them, now that is light tank gameplay, which is glorious fun. And this is the exact reason why people say light tanks have a high skill bar, because if you screw things like that up, you're in the firing line, and you're going to get nailed, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. But if you can do it right, it works. And it works so, so well. I mean, if I look at all my tier 8 light tanks on Blitz stars, and I've got all of them in the game, because I'm a weirdo, I don't have the highest average damage in this tank. Even if I add my medium tanks to that little list, and I compare my mediums and my lights to tier 8s, this thing still isn't my highest average damage out of all of those. This is my highest win rate with the highest spot rate though. And that says a lot about the gameplay, not the damage. Because you're always in a position to be a pain in the butt, especially when you're fully loaded and you know you can do a huge chunk of damage. Because that huge chunk of damage makes people turn their turrets. Because after the first shot, they may go, I'm not looking. Second shot, they may look and go, well, I'm not taking a third. But by then, it's too late, and you're already going to get your shot off into them anyway. And, like I said earlier, and it's proven time and time again, when you're in a tank like this, people want to turn their guns to you. Everybody, not everybody, wrongly put. A lot of people see that as a disadvantage, that people want to turn their turrets and guns to you because you're light. Use it to your advantage. Make people, allow people to target you. Lead them on a goose chase. Lead them back to your team. It works, and it works really well. And it works very, very well in this sort of tank. Auto-loading light tanks. I try to play the similar sort of fashion with my other mediums and, not my other mediums, my other lights. But it just works so much better on this. I mean, let's give a T49 as a comparison. With a T-49, you can't just run in, unload a couple of shells, and then run away. You've got to strategically place your tank in a position that will allow you to penetrate. You don't really need to do that as much on this tank. I could penetrate the flat sides of this VK, and I could penetrate his butt. I want to shoot at his butt here because, well, he's slow, it's guaranteed every time, there's a good chance of fire, and yet again, he's turning his turret to me. He's now an easy target for the rest of the Greens on my team, and there is now just a Jagd Tiger left. So we know exactly where it is because we took one nasty shot off him. So I'm going to go light him up, and I'm going to try and keep him tracked in position and let my team take care of the rest. That's the main focal point for me, is not being the centre of attention in terms of driving headfirst with the heavy tanks. I've seen other AMXs do it and they get slaughtered. It just doesn't work. Light tanks are meant to be on the flank. Light tanks are meant to be a distraction by appearing, unloading. Hopefully you can do it at full speed and then leg it. But you can do good damage with these sort of tactics as well. And we only did 2,900 in that one, but we did a shed ton of spotting. You can see we had plenty of medals at there. We are top of the board. It's tier 9 game just like the last ones, but we got 1,800 and is that 94 assistance damage? So yeah, AMX 1390 guys. For sheer entertainment factor, I love this tank. I haven't spoke about the buff. Sorry, the buff. We would all be happy with that. I haven't spoke about the nerf on this tank because it's the gameplay and the style of gameplay which I really enjoy the most about this tank. And I would really like 2 seconds in between the shells, but I've got 2.5, so I have to live with that. It's certainly not going to take the fun factor away from this tank for me. I hope you have enjoyed this video though. In terms of gameplay, in terms of playing these games, as you can tell, I bloody loved it. It was just amazing fun. But thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.